Okay, guys, so I finished building the Tamiya TT-02. I'm pretty much finished. Built it with a full bearing kit. I added the aluminum propeller shaft, added the high-speed gear set. One thing that I decided to do, only because when I was on Amazon looking for shopping for shocks or dampers, I saw the adjustable motor mount for this, and it was like 34% off. It was like $19 and change. And I think I got this one for about $7.99 or $8.99. I'll leave a link for this in the description down below, like I always do. When I mention a part, I always try to leave a link down below where possible. So I'm going to install that, and we'll get started on that. So we're just going to take this off. I'm really liking the Tamiya TT-02 chassis. I think it's great. It's a lot of fun to build. It's really easy to build. This is a great place to start if you're new to RC, or maybe you've been running RTRs and you just want to check out what building a kit is all about. This is a great place to start. Tamiya makes excellent kits. They have excellent manuals. It's awesome that these days, you can get online if you have a problem, or if you get stuck, you can get online and post pictures and all that on Facebook. Get all the help you need. But the manuals are excellent, and I know when I started building as a kid, instructions taught me everything I needed to know. The manuals taught me everything I needed. I made a few mistakes where you used the wrong size screw or something like that. So like these screws that I'm removing, they're all the same size, so it won't be hard to put this all back together. These two screws here are just the screws that hold the motor mount to the chassis, or as they say in England, the chassis. But there's all the screws. They're all the same size. That makes, when you put everything back together, it makes it nice and simple. So here's our motor out of the chassis, and I'm just going to disconnect these leads. I'll take the solder gun and get these wires off of here, and then I'll just cut these to size and solder them directly to the wires from the ESC directly to the motor, just to neaten all this up. This is a mess in here. Open this up. The stock part that I'm replacing, here's the motor mount. I will throw it in the bag that the hop up part came in. I'm moving right now. I'm packing up my house to move, but I usually have a specific tote that I put parts in for Tamiya. This time, I'll put the plastic motor mount back in the package for this, with this tag, and I'll throw it in the box that the kit came in. So I think I'm going to have to take the pinion off. I had this set of drivers. I like these because they're labeled. The size is right there, and I kind of like the skeletonized handle. It looks kind of cool, and they've been great. The tips are great. I've bought some drivers in the past, inexpensive drivers that are crap. They round off, and these have been great. So pop the pinion off, and we got the two little Phillips head screws that you can see here and here. There's guys out there that built the kit, and they already know all about the screws and how everything comes apart and goes together and all that. But I figure there might be people stopping by that aren't familiar, so we'll take the second that it takes to share the steps with them. Some people don't have the kit, or they want to get it. It's, it's on their list or in their cart, but they don't have it yet. So here's the disc that came with it, and I just put this one on. This one hasn't even been run yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw that back in the bag. Here's the factory mount. We'll put that back in there, And then I will staple this tag back on there, and we'll throw that back in the kit box. Where to put the screws for this pinion, you can see right there. So it's got us putting one screw there and then one screw right here, and that'll set the motor in the perfect place so that this pinion meshes perfectly with the spur gear. So I move the manual. I'm going to put a little Loctite on these screws. I don't use a lot, and I need my Phillips head for this. I don't use a lot of Loctite. Sometimes more comes out than I want. But... So I'm going to line this hole. I'm going to line that up with the number 22 right there. Then we're going to get that other screw in there. Put a little Loctite on that. I wouldn't use anything other than the blue. The blue is will keep your screws in place, and it's fairly easy to break loose if you need to remove the screw. So now we seated those, and this is a Tamiya screwdriver, and the bit or the tip of this Phillips fits perfectly in those screws. If you have a screwdriver from a Home Depot or hardware store or wherever, may not fit in these screws properly. This is a JIS tip, or Japanese Industrial Standard. Fits into these screw heads perfectly so that you're not camming out or destroying the screw head. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten these down. You don't have to go crazy, just snug it and then just give it a little bit more. You don't have to horse it. Going to set the pinion. I'm going to tighten this just a little bit till it's snug, where I can kind of push it and have it stay in place, but I can still move it back and forth to get it to mesh nicely with the, you see there's the pinion right there, and then it's really hard to see that spur gear. There you can see the spur gear. So here's the spur gear, big black gear, and then there's my pinion right there. You want it right in the center of the spur gear. You want as much contact as you can between the teeth of the gears. So I'm happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and snug down that grub screw. Good. So now that that's all meshed up nice, we're going to flip the car back over and put these screws back in. We don't want to use these screws that we took out of the chassis because those went into the old plastic motor mount. These are actually the screws that we're going to put in through the bottom of the chassis, and they're going to fit into that aluminum motor mount. So that's what these are for. I'll put some thread lock on these, just a little bit. And same thing, get that going in there. Sometimes I'll use a smaller screwdriver like this. It's got a smaller tip. Now these are not the JIS. I don't know if you can see, but the tip on this is much more pointed. But it is magnetized. It'll hold this screw, and I can get this screw started and just get it threaded in a little bit. And this driver is really easy to manipulate. So I can put that in there, and there, right there, I'm snugged. Hit the screw, drive that back down in. So now that's snug down. And then I'll come back and I'll tighten it with this one. Now again, you're going into aluminum, so don't get carried away because you'll strip that out. Just bottom it out and then just a little bit more just to snug it up. You don't have to go crazy. Okay, so that is mounted to the motor, dropped in place. We got the pinion all lined up nice. So we'll get this cover back on there. Drop that in place. I've never built a Tamiya kit and said, oh my God, what a piece of junk. They are awesome kits. And what you end up with after the assembly is just a car that's just an absolute blast to run. Some people just enjoy building and displaying, and they keep adding hop ups and making changes, and that's cool. If that's what you like to do, if that's the part of the hobby that you dig, good for you, man. As long as you're having a good time. So we got this cover that goes back over the motor, and this also serves, you can mount a cooling fan right there. You can see it's perfect for that. It's got the holes, and actually it's not perfect for that. That's exactly what it's for. And it's got a little piece right here that you could actually take off if you wanted to. This piece right here is to mount your on-off switch, but on the Hobby Wing ESC that it comes with, you can see there's the switches right there. So here's the ESC, and then right on the side of the ESC is a little groove that the on-off switch slides right down into. And once you slide it on there, it really stays put. It's really a good thing that Hobby Wing did there. All right, so let's get the cover back on. The adjustable motor mount is in. That was really simple. I mean, I'm sitting here, blow bagging with you guys while I'm making this video, and that didn't take very long at all. And I'm going to share one more thing with you before I leave. I thought about this while we were doing this together, and this is from Whia, made in Germany. I have a lot of their drivers. Whia. There's ones that look like this. There's screwdrivers that look like this. I've bought some of them. They suck. These are made in Germany, and you get what you pay for. But this is also made by them. Part number 400-10. This is a magnetizer demagnetizer. So I'll start with the demagnetizer. That's the one here that looks like a little staircase. This one up here. Well, you can see it's got negative, positive, but I'll demagnetize this one. And you just run it around the outside. You want to keep it around to the outside surfaces and just run it in a circle. So that should be demagnetized now. So I'll try to pick up one of these screws with it. That's still magnetized. But the most important thing about this is that you can magnetize your tools. You take a tool out of the box and it's not magnetized. Let's see. Maybe this will work. We'll try this as a little experiment. I think I'm going to be doing some editing here. So this needle nose pliers won't pick up this screw. So I'm going to try to magnetize it. So we'll put it in this one, and we're just going to run it around the outside. I don't know if it'll do something this big, but we'll see. There you go. It's magnetized. I'll try demagnetizing that one. So we're going to use this one that looks like the staircase. See, it won't pick it up. Magnetize. There you go. Yeah, worth it. I don't know what it is price-wise, but I'll look it up and see if I can find a link for it. So that's it, guys. That's the installation of the adjustable motor mount from the Tamiya Hop Up Options. And it is part number 54558 right there. And like I said, I got a great deal on it on Amazon. I think I got a great deal. I'll leave the link. Today is July 21st, 2025. You guys can go over there and check it out. And maybe you can scoop one up. I think there was a few left. And I hope you do. I hope if it's an option that you've been considering, I hope you can go over there and scoop one of those up. I'm always trying to share links and things with people that I think they'll like, or where they can save some money and make an improvement to their vehicle, or a tool that makes building easier and more enjoyable. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment. I really appreciate it. Like I've said before, if you just leave a comment that says thank you, or you leave a comment that says that was really boring, or you leave a comment that says you talk too much, leaving a comment helps the channel, and I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, guys. When I build the shocks for this, I will do another video. I'll build one shock with you guys, and then I'll do the install. And you can check that out. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.